go into the arm drag region, which for this seated guard is perfect, right? You have, in my opinion, you have the advantage, right? Because they have to come into your guard, they have to get inside position, and you can go for these arm drags. And this will be great, even when they're standing. You can shoot for arm drags because we're hand fighting, right? You can just get in here and start shooting for the arm drag, which is just pulling and getting into that S mount and trying to get around to the side, right? Notice that when I arm drag, that even there when he's standing, I'm not just pulling Sean to me, right? You guys saw that I was here and I'm up, right? I'm moving, trying to get behind him. Now, even standing, this is great, but more so you're gonna see this when they drop to their knees. Because we're in seated guard, he knows it's harder if he's standing, it's easier for me to keep distance. He's gonna come in here and start a more technical, maybe a pressure approach, right? Same thing, I can still get my arm drags in here, right? And I still wanna move. I don't wanna try to pull Sean to me with this and just pull him on top of me. I wanna get to that side, try to get him around, right? Questions on this? Now, which ways am I'm always using my feet, right, to stop him, especially when we're in here. In this seated guard, you guys should be shrugged, like we talked about all last week. We're very square, just squared up on him. I've got my feet to step on his knees, his legs, and we're most likely he's gonna be going for my feet, and I'm just grabbing his hands, keeping him from grabbing my feet. It's very important. Don't let him grab your feet, because the moment he gets my feet, he can just push them up and get me on my back, and you can start passing, all right? So this is why we're staying up. Pulling our feet in, you can get to the side, you're always just hand fighting here and not letting him engage. It's okay to leave one back too. I'm always like checking distance as well. But this is the point where I start using my arm drags, right? Me personally, I like to do this down because it just lines up pulling into my opposite hip. You guys can see when I pull, it just naturally goes to the opposite hip. Technically, which I think is wrong, people are gonna want you to arm drag this way. But automatically, I'm gonna have to pull him on top of me if I'm pulling to this hip. And I just don't like that way. I don't think it's efficient. So I turn the hands over. And I'm constantly here anyways, right? We're hand fighting, and now if I could just get this to this opposite hip, it's much easier to kick my foot out and move, right? And get around to the side. I'm actually moving more than he is. And more than likely, in this arm drag, he's not going to move. If I catch him off guard, if he starts coming at me a little bit, I'm just boom, and he kind of hits that. You'll notice I still move more. I'm stepping on his feet, stepping here, getting this out, and just trying to move around and get around behind him, right? So this arm drag, you're probably going to move more. And in fact, you probably shouldn't. Right? You shouldn't just stand. So there are different ones we're going to go through. This is still an arm drag, I think. Right? Still an arm drag. Cooler one though, right? Yeah. Still, like arm drags. We're going to play around with a lot of this today. But follow those concepts. When I'm here in this seated guard, I'm not just sitting back like, I'm gonna get beat up, right? I'm gonna get passed all day. So, forward, down, shrug, your shoulders should be right in here in your knees, your elbows should be inside your ear. Everything should be on the inside. And as he starts coming forward and grabbing for things, I can immediately grab here. And it's not wrong. If Sean grabs both my ankles, there's nothing wrong with just pulling these up, right? I don't even like that. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna get one. If I can get one, then I can start playing around, but he's not just gonna hold. There's just gonna be a little bit back, right into his arm. This is what I want you drilling today. Personally, I want you pulling down, kicking this foot out, and we should be trying to get around to the side, right? They're moving in, it's infinitely easier, but it's here, reaching back, all one motion. Notice how this leg is still staying on the inside of that hook. Right, this would be great for whenever I start trying to take it back. I can just pull him over and get here, right? Questions? Arm drag city today. Just practice this one for right in front. Questions on it? 1, 2.